Now guys, if you want to make the camera of your Samsung smartphone even better, then I would recommend downloading the Camera Assistant add-on from the Galaxy Store. Because this add-on unlocks some of the best secret features that will give you more control over the camera. Hey guys, Tech Guy Charlie here and welcome to the channel. In this video, I will explain what exactly the Camera Assistant does and what kind of impact do these settings have on your photos and on the handling of the camera. Let's begin. Alright, so after you download the Camera Assistant add-on from the Galaxy Store, you're gonna see a new menu in the camera settings. So if we go to the camera settings, you're gonna see Camera Assistant right here. So let's go over these one by one. So the first one toggles auto HDR. By default, this setting will be switched on and I would recommend that you leave this on unless there is a specific reason you want to switch it off. Because take a look at this photo. It has been taken with the auto HDR setting off, and did you notice the bright areas of my t-shirt are completely washed out? And secondly, you can barely see my face. Now this photo has been taken with the HDR setting enabled, and now you can actually see the bright areas of my t-shirt. See, in this one it looks white while it is supposed to be yellow like this. Plus, my face is also brighter and actually visible. Here is another example without HDR and with HDR. You can clearly see there is a massive difference in the details, especially in the bright areas. So enabling HDR will help you capture better quality photos. But there are scenarios when you have to disable HDR. Like when I take photos for thumbnails, I always disable HDR because switching it off gives me better contrast. It really depends on what you're trying to capture, but for general purpose photography, I would recommend leaving this feature on. Alright, so moving on, this next setting softens out sharp edges and textures in a photo. And it's got three settings: off, medium and high. Now I've taken photos with all three levels. Let me pull the photos up. So this is without any kind of softening, and pay close attention to this area. Now this is medium and finally high. Also, here is a side-by-side comparison of all three photos, and in this you can clearly tell that it does soften out the skin texture. Now one thing to keep in mind is that this feature will soften out everything. So here are two pictures that I took, one without and one with. And with 100% zoom, you can clearly see what this feature does. The picture on the right looks a little blurry. So my suggestion would be to keep this feature off if you want better quality photos. And if you want smooth texture on your face, use the face enhancement feature. You can find it by tapping on this icon and then face. And finally use this slider to smoothen out the texture of your skin. Now this one is interesting. The third option lets you disable the automatic switching of the lenses. So the thing is, sometimes you might have noticed that the phone uses the main camera even when you've got the telephoto lens selected. This switch happens automatically and usually it will happen when you take photos in low light. So to demonstrate, let's switch over to the 10 times telephoto camera. Now logically, you might be thinking that the phone is actually using the 10 times telephoto camera, but it's actually not. It's using the 3 times telephoto camera, and I can prove that by covering up the 3 times telephoto lens. So there you go, that shows you the phone is using the 3 times telephoto camera when you select the 10 times zoom in low light situation. This is actually a great feature of the camera because it will automatically optimize and pick the lens to prioritize the picture quality. But many of you guys will find this feature annoying. So let's disable the automatic camera switching. So with this setting switched off, the phone will always use the camera that you select. And it will not auto switch between them, doesn't matter what the condition is. Like right now it is actually using the 10 times telephoto camera instead of 3 times. And once again we can cross check by keeping our finger on the lens. So there you go. So this gives you more control over the phone's camera, which is something that I like. So you might have noticed that the camera takes a photo when you tap and lift your finger. See that? You actually have to lift your finger and then the camera takes a photo. Now if you want to increase the responsiveness of the camera, turn this fourth option on which says quick tap shutter. because once enabled, your phone will take a photo as soon as your finger touches the shutter button. This increases the responsiveness of the camera. You can really feel the difference after switching this setting on. The fifth setting lets you prioritize the speed at which the camera captures images. And here you've got two settings, one for regular resolutions and the other one is when you take photos at 50 or 200 megapixels, aka high resolution. Now, my suggestion would be to leave these settings on quality because you would always want the best looking photos out of your S23 Ultra. But if you feel that there is a bit of a shutter lag, especially in low light, then you can balance speed and quality. And yes, prioritizing speed, especially in low light, does increase the responsiveness of the camera, but this comes at the cost of picture quality. Now, YouTube always lowers the bitrate, so I'm not sure how this is showing up. But anyways, here are 3 photos that I took with the 3 different settings. So we are prioritizing the quality on the left, speed and quality in the middle, and speed on the right. And you can clearly see how the quality progressively gets worse if you prioritize camera speed over quality. So this is why leave this setting on quality unless you want the camera to be more responsive. But remember, that comes at the cost of quality. Alright, so moving on, this 6th option lets you switch off the ability to record video in the photo mode. If you don't know, you can actually record a video in the photo mode itself by long pressing on the camera shutter button just like this. And this setting toggles this feature on and off. I prefer keeping this feature on because this is a really convenient way to record videos in the photo mode itself because you don't have to change the camera mode to video just to record a video. The 7th setting lets you select the number of photos the phone is gonna take when you use the self timer option. So let me demonstrate. Let's set this to 3 and the interval to 1 second. And now we are going to use the self timer to take a photo. So this is 1, 2, and finally 3. So as you can see, the phone takes 3 photos with 1 second interval between them. You can actually set this to take up to 7 pictures and have a longer interval between them. So you can tweak this as per your liking. If you leave the camera running, it will quit by itself after 2 minutes to save battery power. So this 8th setting lets you tweak the camera timeout. By default, it is set to 2 minutes, but I think this is okay. But it is still a useful feature because I have this setting set to 10 minutes on the phone that I'm filming on, mainly because I don't want the camera to shut off when I'm doing something else. So a very useful feature if you use your phone to exclusively record videos just like I do. Now, dim screen while recording will lower the brightness of the screen while you are recording videos. And this is a super useful feature if you've got an external display and you are using it as a viewfinder. And dimming the screen has a lot of benefits. It lowers the power consumption and heat generation, and it also protects the display from image retention, aka screen burn-in. And finally, we have the option of clean preview on HDMI displays. So the thing is, when you connect your phone to an external monitor like this and launch the camera, you will notice that all of the on-screen controls also show up on the external display. And this kind of takes away useful area of the screen, especially on the right side, because I can't tell if this part is in focus or not. Now, enabling the clean HDMI out will hide all of the on-screen controls and give you a clean video feed from the camera when you've got your phone hooked up to an external display through HDMI. Meanwhile, the controls appear normally on the phone. This feature is extremely useful to me because sometimes I use my phone to film videos and I need to see what the phone is recording on a bigger screen. And having a clean vanilla preview on the external display is quite helpful. And if you are wondering, I am using a USB Type-C to HDMI and USB adapter. This thing is awesome. It allows you to hook up an external HDMI display and also charges the phone so you don't run out of battery. Very useful for filming videos. So this was a rundown of the Camera Assistant add-on. Now, you might be wondering where to get this. Well, this is available on the Galaxy Store. Just search for Camera Assistant and this is the one that you need to download. And this is actually available on many Samsung smartphones including the Galaxy Z Flip 4, and heck, you can even download this on the older Note 20 Ultra. Now you do need a phone running Android 13 and One UI 5, and I think it's only available if you have the S, Z, and the older discontinued Galaxy Note. Not sure about the A series phones, so let me know if you can get this on a mid-range Samsung. So that will be pretty awesome. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel because that helps out a lot. And as always, the download link for the wallpaper is in the video's description. Tech Guy Charlie signing off.